It's yet another interesting week in Microsoft Flight Simulator with cheap in-game head tracking on phone. Godzilla arrives in San Francisco, performance improvements are on the way, and loads more, so let's jump in and take a look. Microsoft Flight Simulator is of course a sim of utter seriousness, an exceptional recreation of the world, simulated flight physics, realistic planes and all the rest of that good stuff. But seriousness aside, we're all here one way or another for fun. And what better way to enjoy that than to witness the King of Monsters, Godzilla himself, arriving in San Francisco. This free mod, available at the Nexus Mods website, is very easy to install. It's a simple download from the website, and no, you don't have to subscribe to the service. There is a free download option here, as you can see on the screen right now. However, you will need to register on the website. Once the file is downloaded, it's a simple step of copying the Godzilla folder into the community folder in your Flight Simulator installation directory. Now, Godzilla doesn't move, he isn't animated or isn't poseable. He's actually pretty much just a huge to scale statue. But honestly, it's a great statue to have, isn't it? The coordinates for the monster can be found in a text file within the download directory. However, Godzilla is very easy to find even without that. Striding towards the city and across the water, it can be found right next to the Oakland Bay Bridge. The author did state they would have liked to have placed Godzilla in Tokyo. However, they didn't do that because right now that isn't a photogrammetry city. At any rate, if you want a bit of iconic fun in your flight sim, then this mod is well worth a look. Do check it out, the link is in the video description. Microsoft Flight Simulator came with Track IR support at launch, which is awesome news for anyone who has the $200 device. And there's also rumours that Tobii may soon be bringing support for their tech to the sim as well. Now, these are both fantastic pieces of hardware, however they are a little bit on the costly side. Fortunately, a more affordable option is available in the form of Smooth Track. This is an app that can be installed into both iPhones and Android devices. It uses the device's camera, and it works to your PC and then uses the OpenTrack protocol to provide head tracking support in Microsoft Flight Simulator. The software costs £10, which is significantly cheaper than the hardware alternatives, and whilst it's unlikely Smooth Track will be as responsive or precise as Track IR, it feels as though it might nonetheless be a good option. Now, to be perfectly clear, I haven't had the chance to try this out myself just yet. It's been a busy week. However, I wanted to let people know that it's available so you can take a look if you want. This is something though that I will be taking a look at myself later, so I will likely have a dedicated video on it at some point in the future. Meanwhile, you can find all the necessary links in the video description. This week's community update from Microsoft offers a few details on the next patch release. It's currently in the final parts of testing and, all being well, should be ready within the next 10 days. The full patch notes will be available with the patch release. However, Microsoft have provided a few highlights on what to expect, and we'll have a look at those right here. So this is the list they've posted to their website. They're going to implement some performance improvements, ATC updates, UI updates, aerodynamic updates. This one in particular is quite interesting as there's a bunch of different weird things going on with that. Aircraft updates, which I would have thought will include some AI improvements, which they mentioned previously. Now, in terms of graphics, they're also going to take a look at the cockpit visuals and animations. There's going to be some updates there, along with some general aviation system updates. They have mentioned before that both the G1000 and G3000 systems do need some improvements, and that might be included in the general aviation avionic update they mentioned right here. Now, we all know that the A320 in particular is not exactly perfect, and some of the other airliners also have some issues. So these should be improved with the airliner system updates and the airliner avionic updates as well. A number of people have experienced some ongoing issues with live weather, often being inaccurate or just sometimes plain not working. And of course, there's the outstanding issue for many people that they experience. That's with the wind, which is always coming from an angle of 225 degrees at 3 knots. That's something that's going to be fixed. Persistency in the live weather has also been fixed, so some good news there. There's also going to be some fixes to the not fixes, but rather upgrades to the multiplayer servers. Some marketplace updates. there's been some problems with the marketplace actually. It's worth just briefly mentioning in that some of the third parties are unable to get updates out for their particular products. It looks like that's something that has been fixed. There's also some more generalized things here, such as content manager updates, localization updates, and accessibility updates. There's also some changes to the camera system by the look of it. Also, the bush trip is going to be updated, which will allow the completion trigger to be fixed and help people get the completionist achievement. And finally, some world updates, so maybe some fixes to the scenery that everyone has been finding. And don't forget that the Bing Maps also has regular updates with photogrammetry and things like that, and that Asobo have said that these things will be integrated into Microsoft Flight Simulator at some point, so perhaps we'll see some of those as well. So quite a lot of stuff then. This of course is patch number 2, but it seems as though it will be the first significant patch. Microsoft have said previously as well that they aim to release a major patch every month. That then brings us to the end of this video. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time.